DaVinci Resolve is easily one of the best video editing tool out there, and it's free. And in this class, I'm gonna be going through my complete step-by-step workflow of editing YouTube videos. A workflow that I've refined over the years to save time without compromising the quality. I'm a professional videographer, a course creator, and a YouTuber. And I know how challenging it could be to publish YouTube videos regularly when you have so much going on behind the scenes. And that's exactly why I developed this efficient video editing style that allows me to create professional looking videos within a few hours. And sometimes, believe it or not, it only takes 1 hour. And the best part, I have given you all the raw footage so you can edit with me. So if you're ready to speed up your YouTube video editing process and create videos that stand out, then let's get started. Before we head further, I want to give you a class overview. Your first question would be, who is this for? This is not a complete video editing beginner's masterclass. If you want to learn video editing from scratch in DaVinci Resolve, then check out my previous masterclass. That is like a 6-hour or 6.5 hours long video editing class. And in that class, I've gone through everything that is included in DaVinci Resolve. So yeah, if you're a complete beginner, this class is not for you. This class is for someone who has a bit of experience of video editing in DaVinci Resolve or video editing in any other software, and they just want to enhance their workflow. And if you want to make your workflow more efficient, then yes, you're welcome to take this class. Second question, where can you get the raw files? So if you go down in the description, in the resource panel, you can download everything from my Dropbox. And for some reason, if it doesn't work, please leave your comments below. And I provided 2 different folders. One folder is for Windows user and another folder is for Mac user. But if you're a Mac user who's using Intel, not the M1 chip, then you should be downloading the Windows file, because the files what I provided, they might not work in your DaVinci Resolve, especially if you have the free version. So yeah, Windows and Mac, different folders, go check that out, don't get confused. And the last thing, if you enjoyed this class, please give a review, or if you think something could have been better, please let me know as well, because that would help me to create more classes like this in the future, which you actually enjoy watching. So yes, don't forget to give your reviews. And now, let's get started with DaVinci Resolve video editing class. So here we're gonna be starting with actually editing in DaVinci Resolve. First thing, I'll just do it full screen, and the first thing what you see right now is the media pool page. If you don't see media pool page, you can just come here at the bottom here to the media pool page. But before we import anything or before we do anything, we need to take care of some of the project settings so that when you export your videos, they are in the best quality. And also when you are playing the video, like the actual playback while editing, it should play smooth, because if it doesn't play smooth, it would be really frustrating. So let's check out the project settings here. So if you see the setting button here in the corner, I'm gonna open it. And what you need to do is you need to go to master settings and just copy all these settings. What timeline resolution does is that it would play the videos in high definition when you are editing the video. But when you want to export it, then we can export in 4K, 8K, whatever resolution you want. And it doesn't matter if you have filmed the video in 4K, you can just play back the video in high definition in DaVinci Resolve. And when you have to export it, then do 4K. And this, we are just doing it so that the video plays a little bit smoother when we are actually doing the editing. One more thing you need to keep an eye on is the timeline frame rate per second. So before editing, you really need to know what frame rates your videos are shot at. I had a question previously, someone was saying that, hey, some of my videos are 30 frames per second, some of my videos are 24, what frame rate should I keep the project at? So whatever the lowest frame rate is from a mixture of videos, for example, when I film from my Sony camera, which is this one, I usually film at 24 frames per second, but sometimes when I'm filming from an iPhone, that video is at 30 frames per second, but it's easy to play a 30 frames per second video into 24 rather than the other way around. So that's why I keep the frame rates to 23.967 or 24. And also really important is that you should really determine the frame rates now, because you cannot change these frame rates later down the line. So that's the only thing I change here. The rest of the settings, I just keep everything the same. And for proxy media, I would really recommend you to check out my DaVinci Resolve, the masterclass. In that masterclass, I have really dedicated an entire section to proxy media. And these are the places where you would be exporting videos, where the cache files are saved and all that. And the next most important thing, what you need to change, is the color management. So just copy these settings, and if you're a Mac user, then just do output color space Rec 709A. But if you're a Windows user, then you should do Rec 709 Gamma 2.4. This I have also explained in my other DaVinci class, but if you don't want to know the explanation, if you just want to have the best video output, just copy these settings. And rest, I'm not changing anything. General options, I don't change nothing. No. So what I would do is that if you want to save these settings, you can save it. I didn't make any changes, so I cannot save it. And if you want these settings to be your default setting, what do you need to do? You can go on these three dots. You can do save current settings as default preset. You can also have different presets. For example, save current setting as a preset, then you can just name it. And for example, if you're making a reel or a TikTok, then you can have a different project settings. For example, if you're editing a reel, then you can do vertical video resolution like so, and then make a preset. But for YouTube videos, I just keep this, and I always do save current setting as default preset. So next time if you open DaVinci Resolve, you don't have to change anything. All the settings would be preserved. So I wouldn't save it because I didn't make any changes. Let's just do cancel. And the next video settings, what do you need to change is here. Go to DaVinci Resolve, go to preferences. Here I wouldn't change anything. Memory, GPU, you have to do all max, so that DaVinci is using the max amount of power, when you're editing videos. Next, the only setting what I change is when you go to general. When you go to general, this is really important for Mac users. Windows users, you don't have to do anything. For Mac users, for Apple MacBook Pro users, you really need to make sure that all these, wherever I have done the tick, it should be ticked. If it's not ticked, then the video output would be completely different. Like you would see a video in DaVinci Resolve in a particular way, and when you export it and when you run in QuickTime or VLC, then the colors will be completely different. So that's why it's really important to check these boxes, and that's it. So you should save it. I would just cancel it. So yeah, those were the few project settings, some really important project settings that you need to change when you are editing in DaVinci Resolve and when you're specifically editing for YouTube. Now let's move on to the next chapter. Here in this section, I'm gonna be importing your YouTube video. So wherever you have saved, of course, I have given you all the raw files, and there are raw files, different files for Windows users and different files for Apple users. So you really have to keep an eye on that. So what are we gonna do? I have saved it in current projects. I go summer road trips, then bled. So these are the files that I need to import in DaVinci Resolve. What would I do? I would just select everything, and then I would just go to master here and drop it here. So now what DaVinci would be doing is it would make the exact same folder structure as how it is in my computer. So what you can do, what I usually do when I'm traveling, is that I usually make list of folders when I'm traveling, and every evening, whatever we have filmed, I would just sort of make folders for that specific day. For example, here, this is another video. I have made specific folder for drone, iPhone, photos, Sony videos. For everything, there would be drone, iPhone, photos, Sony. So you really have to make sure that you are kind of categorizing different video clips, different soundtracks into different folders. They're not in the same folder, because when you're editing, then it's really easy to navigate. So this is also really important, that how do you organize the folder in your computer, how easily and how clearly you organize the folder in your computer, how easy your job would be in DaVinci Resolve. Because now I can really just copy everything in DaVinci Resolve, and I'm sure that the music would be here, all the videos and photos, everything would be here. The photos, you can see here, it's red because photos are in raw format. So if I don't need photo, what would I do is I would just go backspace or X, and you can delete it. And now what we would be doing is we go to edit page. I would just make it full screen. We need to drag the clips on the timeline. But before we drag the clips on the timeline, I would do something. So if I go to Sony folder, I wouldn't make any changes, but if I go to iPhone videos, then what I would do, I would just go here, select everything by Command A or Control A, and then I would go right click and clip color, and you can choose any color you want. I would be doing like, you can choose anything you want to this color, but it's really up to you what color you want. And then all the stock videos, I would also change the clip colors. And the thing is that later our timeline would look something like this. So then you would exactly know from even far away that which video was from iPhone, which videos are stock footage, which videos are from the Sony cameras. So that's why we do kind of clip coloring. So if we go here, we can see that all these 10 are stock footage. So I would also do all this, the clip color. It's not tan, I think it's brown, so there are stock footage. First step was to import everything. The second step was to change the clip colors. And it would all make sense in the end. Now what do we need to do? Now we need to import everything on timeline. So if you don't know how timeline works or what does timeline means, then I would really recommend you to first watch my DaVinci Resolve class, master class, and then you should come here, because here we are just talking about the shortcuts, the easiest possible way to edit YouTube videos. So let's go. There are two ways of doing it to cut the clip and import on the timeline. The first way is this.
But there's one thing about Bled when I did my research.
So here what you can do, like we can see that there was a little error in the beginning. So when she says but, then I can press in point, which is I. So you can see that this is selected here.
I was like, huh? How can we visit Slovenia without visiting hidden gem? You can judge, is it worth it to go or not?
And when the sort of talking part ends, then you can do O, which is the out point of this clip. And then if I want to just drag this from here to here on the timeline, I can just go to the clip here and drag it on the timeline. But in my opinion, this process is a bit tedious because you can see the graph here. If you cannot see it, you should go to here, the 3 clicks, and then you should do display audio waveforms and also take display non-reflective waveforms. And then you will see the audio. And then here you can see where the subject is talking, where the subject is not talking. So you see what's going on here? That was one way you press in and out and then drag on the timeline. What I do is I would just delete it by pressing backspace or X. What I do, I know that most of my videos were shot in Sony and they are in the Sony folder. So then I would just drag everything, just Control A or Command A, and drag it on the timeline. And now it wouldn't be copying. I know why. Because we made a timeline which is kind of in the Sony folder. So what do we need to do? Drag this timeline in master. Yeah, so now the timeline is here. Now if you select everything, now everything gets copied on the timeline here. So here what you can see is you can really see where we have started talking, where we have ended the talk. Sometimes whatever we are saying, if we didn't do it good, then we are repeating it. So then that repeat starts here. So here you have a clear kind of overview of where the subject is talking, what all parts should be needed in the video. So now if you just click here, you can see the entire video. It's like a rough structure of the entire vlog, right? It's here on our timeline, and later we would add music. No, first thing is we would cut everything, then later we would add some videos, some voiceovers, then later we would also add stock footage, then we would add music, then we would do some effects. So this is just the basic structure of the entire video. And these are just the clips, there's the raw clips just behind each other. And what you need to do right now is to cut everything. So obviously if you have filmed your own videos, then you would have a bit of idea where did you do mistakes, what part should be taken out. But we filmed this video, I think 2 months back, so I really don't remember what all things we talked, what all things needs to be taken out. So first step is to just watch everything, and then you would have a better idea of what all things needs to be taken out. what all things has to be trimmed or, you know, just chopped out from the main clip. But to chop off everything, I use certain shortcuts. So how you should import my shortcuts? Because with that shortcut, if you see here, if I'm here, if I just do one click, everything is deleted after. If I just do one click, everything is deleted. Like if I want to get rid of this, just with one click it's deleted. If I get rid of this, just with one click it's all deleted. And these things you cannot do easily without using any sort of shortcut. So how do you import the shortcut? You go to DaVinci Resolve here, keyboard customization. Whatever keyboard customization you might have, that might be the default setting in DaVinci Resolve. What do you need to do? You to go here to the 3 clicks, you go import preset. Wherever you have downloaded the preset, that preset would be in .txt format. And then you should import that preset. And once you have imported it, then you would have DaVinci Resolve ID or DaVinci Resolve _ID, something like that. And that is given to you in the resource panel. So really just import the preset and load it on DaVinci Resolve. Then we would be on the same page. So let's watch the first video. So what I would be doing is I would just, you know, put the original video because we cut it out, remember? So here we are kind of trimming, and I'm just showing you a little bit of example of trimming and, you know, cutting down the clips. So what we would be doing is I want the audio bar to be a bit bigger so that I know, you know, when the sounds are coming, when the sounds are not. So what I would be doing, I would do shift and scroll down, so then you can see the audio a bit bigger. And if I want to zoom in the timeline, I can press S, so that zooms in, A zooms out. So I'm sure it would be a little bit overwhelming now because it's a lot of new keyboards, buttons, but the more you edit in DaVinci Resolve, the easier it would get, I promise you. So let's just watch the first clip.
But there's one thing about Bled.
So we already know this part is not going here. So what do we need to do? You should press B. Once you press B, then we are in trim edit mode. You can see this is selected. If I press V, then the arrow is selected. If I press B, then you can see that this becomes a kind of a bracket, right? And if I have to get rid of the front part of the timeline, this part, and I also want the clip to move to the beginning, I just need to press Q. That deletes everything in the front and moves the clip to the left.
But there's one thing about Bled. When I did my research, I read so many comments of people saying, don't go, it's too touristy, really don't go, don't waste your time in Bled. And I was like, huh? How can we visit Slovenia without visiting Bled, you know? But will it be a disappointment? I don't know. But today we're going to test it out. We're going to explore all.
So here what I want to do, I want to just get rid of this part until here because I think that it's not really adding anything. So what we need to do, I would press C. So if I press C, you can see there is a little blade here in the timeline, and I would just cut this video bar. And you can see that if I just cut this video bar, just the top, the video clip is cut. The audio clip is not cut. But at this point, whatever cut we're going to be making anywhere, we want the audio and video to be cut together. So what do we need to do? We need to click the link button here. And now if I cut anything, you can see that the red line is already on both the video and audio. So that's why you need to click the link so that all the videos and audios who are linked together, they would be getting cut or moved anywhere together. So this part has to go.
You know, but will it be a disappointment? I don't know. But today we
and I want this part to be out. So I'll just go to B because now it's in the cutting mode, you know, blade edit mode. I want the trim edit mode to be selected. So you can see if I go here to trim edit mode, the shortcut comes as B. So I will just go B and then I press Q.
Without visiting Bled, you know, but today we're going to test it out. We're going to explore.
You can also see that she says but here, which is already here, the B. That's why you need to elongate the audio waveform, and I would just go a little bit on the right. So you can see you can go right left by pressing the arrow key, so, and then I press W.
you know, but today we're going to test it.
So you can see now the cut looks way smoother.
Bled, you know, but today we're going to test it out.
And one more thing, you might be thinking that the video is a little bit desaturated, because that is because I have filmed in RAW format, and later we would do color grading and color changes. But even if you are filming videos in a normal format, you know, where you see the normal colors on the video, I would also teach you how to color grade that as well, so don't worry.
I'm going to explore all around Bled, show you the hopefully hidden gems, and yeah, you can judge, is it worth it to go or not?
So here the talking is over, so I'll press W. So what am I doing right now is just cutting and trimming the important parts of the video. So of course you have all the video files with you. You don't have to trim the entire vlog, but you can just practice for first 60 to 70 seconds so that you get an idea of what it is like to trim and edit. Because once you start doing it, then you might run into some problems. Then you can ask me some questions. That's why it's really important for you to edit with me. So this is not usable. I can already see that I'm not talking anything here. And obviously we are on our bicycles, and obviously we are. So we can also see that I'm talking good from here. I'm on the trim edit mode, so I'll just press B and Q. And what I can also see, and what you should be also doing during this culling process, is you need to make sure that the audio waveforms are on the same level. Let's say here.
You can judge, is it worth it?
Here the voice is a little bit lower.
To go or not?
And obviously we are on a bicycle. Here the voice is a little bit higher. So what you can do, you have two options. What do I do usually is I'll just right click and normalize audio level for YouTube specifically. So if I do normalize, then this audio goes a little bit higher, then I can hear it again.
How can we visit Slovenia without visiting Bled, you know? But today we're going to test.
So now DaVinci has determined that what would be the optimum audio level. This you shouldn't do on every clip, you should just do on one clip, and then according to the size and the height of that waveform, you can match the other clips. So I can see that the waveform, like it's the same clip, so you can just copy and paste the settings from here audio to here audio. How do you do it? You do Command C or Control C, and then here you go Option V or Alt V. And once you do that, then we have a paste attribute box open. And here, if we made any changes in the videos, everything would be ticked on whatever changes we have made in the video. But the only change we have made now is in the volume. And if I go apply, then the volume is same as here. But if I do the same volume, copy, you know, Command C and Alt V here, then the volume goes so high, because here the volume was already high. So that's why this Control C and Control V is not applicable to all the clips. If it's the same clip, you know, what we chopped off, then it's applicable. Here I can still see that I'm talking a little bit louder, so I'll go a little bit lower for the waveforms to look kind of very similar.
Is it worth it to go or not?
And obviously we are on bicycles. And so you can see now the audio, it sounds really kind of equal in both the clips. And obviously we are on our bicycles. And so I'm still doing a mistake. So what I would be doing, just pressing Q. And yeah, for the Q and W button to work, you really need to make sure that you are in the trim edit mode. And obviously we are on our bicycles. Also would be more tourists, bicycle path. And here we ended talk, I think. But I can also see in the thumbnail here that my wife is gonna be saying something. And if you don't see the thumbnail or the clips in the video here, what do you need to do? Go here, and then you need to go thumbnail view film strip. Then you see kind of a bit of snippets of everything in the video. So that is also really handy in DaVinci Resolve. So I'm just gonna do a cut here, and then I can see that she's saying something here.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, she didn't say anything here, so I can just delete it. And just to delete this individual clip, you can press X, and then you can click in the gap in between the video and press X again if you want to do it that way. Here I would just reduce the volume because we don't really need that audio. And we're going to be going in trim edit mode and do it again. Trim edit mode. So this is how you can actually cut and chop the clips. And this is the first step. No, this is the second step actually. First step was importing it. And then I go through the entire clip, let's say it is 24 minutes with a lot of errors and a lot of long B-roll videos, and I kind of shorten it down to maybe 14-15 minutes. So that's the first cut. And after the first cut, this is how my video clips they look.
It's a really cool bicycle path, this going to Bled. We're staying a bit out.
So you can see here that I have also pasted the iPhone videos because this iPhone part was towards the end. I started filming the iPhone part towards the end. So what I just did was I copied all the iPhone videos here. I can see already from the far that this is the iPhone video because they were of this color. That's what we changed before. So that's why coloring clips are also really important. And I also kind of matched the audio level throughout the video. And if I just zoom in here, to zoom in, press S. I have also changed the audio level of the videos throughout the video. For example, let me give you a good example. So here,
like a little bit, I mean like six.
Here we had the audio on the same level. We can see here that the audio wavelength is of this height, and then later it kind of reduces down, but we want the audio wavelength to be on the same height. So what do we need to do? I'll just zoom in here. You should press Alt or Option, then you can see this red dot. I'll press Alt and Option again, then you see another red dot, and then you see this arrow. You can just increase the height. So now you can see that the audio waveform is of the same height throughout the video clip.
A little bit, I mean like 6Ks on a campsite.
So this also I do. So throughout the culling process, I also just make sure that my audio is also leveled, because if you do it later, then it's almost double work, because then you have to rewatch the entire raw videos again. So that's why it's important to do the audio levels as well. And then what I've also done is that some of the clips which I thought were really pretty, I have kind of changed the color of those clips to apricot, or you can choose whatever color you want, because I want to use that clip in the intro of the video. So my video intro wouldn't start here. I'm doing some sort of voiceover with the most beautiful clips from this video in the beginning. That's what most YouTube travel videos are like. So that's why I highlight the most beautiful part of the vlogs there, so that I can show that highlight reel, true for the audience to watch the entire video. So I change the color of the videos, and then I would just drag them in the front. So yeah, this is how it looks after kind of doing all the culling. And the other time I showed you how big my video were. So my videos, all the videos, when I put them together, it was 24 minutes. And after doing the first cut, when we just removed all the extras, it reduced down to 15 minutes. And later, when we would add music, when we would add B-rolls, then it would reduce down more, because then I would be cutting some of the clips on the beat of the music, and also I would make it a little bit more interesting and a bit more faster, so that it's not that boring. So yeah, our main goal should be to rewatch the videos again and again, and whatever you think is boring, just take it out, keep taking it out. So yeah, this is how we do the culling. Culling basically means just a trimming and cutting down all the extras. So now we have all the videos here, and you can also see that there is a bit of color in the video, which I have done now, but you don't really have to do it now. I will just teach you later how to do color grading, so don't worry about it. You will have the video which is just in raw format. So now we have all the videos, and we have some B-rolls. By B-rolls I mean just these kind of clips, in between, and then we talk, and then you have these kind of clips. So what I do sometimes is that there is two ways I let these clips play. The first way is that I would put a voiceover to give more information to the audience, that what is going on, what am I showing them, if something is not very obvious in the video. Then I would give information as a voiceover, and most of the times I would put music underneath the video files, so that it just makes it a bit more interesting, because if you're just talking throughout the entire video, that could also be boring. So people also want to see the beauty of the place, especially in travel videos. So that's how I kind of play the B-rolls in the video, voiceover or music. What do we need to do now? We need to figure out what voiceover and when they would come. So for example, if this is the beginning of the video, you see? It's about that would it be more bicycles or would it be more tourists on the bicycle path? So here we were kind of telling the audience that we are going to explore this place, but then we are not at that place. We are just cycling somewhere in Slovenia. So here I want to give information to the audience that our journey started, you know, blah, 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 blah. Our journey started at a campsite and then we cycled to the main town, this, that, because the audience should know what is going on, because I never told here that where we are, where is our starting point.
It's a really cool bicycle path, this going to Bled. We're staying a bit outside of the Bled area. So let's find it.
So I can see that, yeah, there's just B-rolls and we didn't really mention anything. So what I would be doing right now is I would also open Google Docs and then I kind of do the voiceover for the entire video. And I have already done it because I already edited the video, and this is how the voiceover looks. So in the voiceover, this is the intro of the entire video, what we would be placing here before this clip, you know. So there's a beautiful montage of everything and then there's a voiceover. And after that, we have 1 or 2 sentences. What to write here, you would get more idea by watching these clips again and again, and then you can think that what information is missing from these B-rolls and what information I can give to the audience. Sometimes you don't have to overdo it, but it's really important to give information to the audience. So that's what I do, that I would just watch the entire video again and then just write down the voiceover text. Say for example, this text is here, this text comes here. So what I would be doing is I usually do is clip color, I just make it pink, because later if I have to put that sentence somewhere, I know exactly where that sentence comes. And then the next B-roll spot, for example, the next B-roll spot is not here, but I think here, because here we have already reached to the lake, and here we are saying our first look at the lake honestly took our breath away, blah, blah. And here I know that here the voiceover would come. So this I do simultaneously. So I would make it pink so that I know for myself that the voiceover comes here, and then I would write the voiceover, and then I would also kind of let my wife check it, that is the voiceover correct and what does she thinks, and then later on I would just copy and paste the voiceover. So if this is how my timeline looks like now, we have the pink, which is the voiceovers, we have this yellow, which are the beautiful clips which would go in the intro, and we have this brown, really light brown color or light yellow, you can decide whatever color it is, that is from the iPhone. We haven't put anything from the stock footage yet. That I would be doing in the intro, because those are the most beautiful clips and they should go in the intro. So this is the voiceover, this is normal timeline, and this is how it looks after I have done the voiceover. So here you can also see that I have kind of put the voiceover everywhere. I've also given the voiceover to you. So what you should be doing is, what I usually do is I make a separate timeline for voiceover. So the voiceover is, I have put it in extra. Voiceover is this clip, which you would find in resource. I don't just put it here and then take out the extra parts or the parts which are not correct on the same timeline, because if I do something here and if I by mistake delete something here, that would be a big problem. So what I do usually is that I make a separate timeline for voiceover, which is this. And then what do I do? For example, I also, of course, you can see I've changed the color of the voiceover clip so that I know where it is. So I change it to lime. You can change to any color you want. In extras, there was voiceover. I go right click here. This is just for my voiceover file. Your voiceover could be in any format. So I would go to clip attributes. I would go to audio. Then It was in mono, I changed it to stereo, channel 1, channel 1. And then I listened to everything, and this is the intro part. We wanted to see it with our day started at the camp. So what do? I kind of put everything in parts. So, and I also put, for example, I could have put everything on the audio layer 1, but I purposely put everything on audio layer 2 because I put the intro part here, and if I copy this, and if I go to after voiceover, and then if I want to paste here, then DaVinci would be pasting the voiceover clips in the second track. So if I just paste here, then it's kind of pasting here. Then I know that the voiceover, this is intro, this is the first sentence. After that, so first sentence, for example, if I copy, so you see how I'm going back and forth between different timelines? I have a fix for you. So if I go here, then I pasted here already the second sentence, the second voiceover placement. Then I know that the third voiceover placement is here. So I'll just command copy or control copy. And then I know that the next voiceover place is here. Then I would paste it here. But you see how we are going back and forth between different timelines? You can fix it by this. So even if you don't have this, what do you need to do? You go here, timeline view options. You need to do display stacked timeline. If I get rid of it, I don't have anything here. I should have told you before, I'm sorry. Here you should go display stacked timeline, and then you have different timelines here. Now I'll show you an easy way. So you can just close this voiceover timeline here and go and click here on this arrow, timeline arrow. And I would just reduce the size of this. So how do you reduce it? Just shift and scroll up and down. If you shift and scroll up and down, it goes like so. So what happens here is you can open multiple timeline in DaVinci. So here we cut the voiceover timeline, so we can select voiceover timeline here. So voiceover is here. If I want to drag, so I can see that the intro was here because I separated them, then the first line was here. Once we pasted here, then the third line was here. So if you wanted to copy and paste it, I could just drag from this timeline and just drag it here. So it's gonna come here. If I want to drag here, I can drag here. If I want to drag the same files here, I could drag anywhere. Here you can easily copy and paste between different timelines without switching to, one another, and it's such an easy way. And the next voiceover was here. I can see the pink. I can just drag and drop here. And if I go scroll to the timeline, then we have more voiceover here, which was this part, then came this, and then in the end we have this part as well. So yeah, that's how you can copy and paste voiceover, and you can see that how coloring the clips makes our life so much easier, and you can do it super quickly. And also how switching between these different timelines, that can help as well. So let's talk about what we did so far. So first thing what we did was we imported all the clips. Then we went in the timeline and we did culling. So we cut out everything which was extra. And we did that using shortcuts. What did we do after that is we made some room, or we kind of thought about what voiceover could go on the video. So we also did some writing for intro in Google Docs, so you can choose whatever software you want. And then we also colored the clips pink, where some kind of potential voiceovers could come. Sometimes what also happens is that I would put the voiceover, I would make everything pink, put the voiceover, and then I feel that, it doesn't really look like it's necessary there, so then I just don't put it. So it's always better to have the voiceovers than to not have, and then re-record again, and then you're wasting your time. So yeah, in the third step, what we did was we kind of colored the clips pink, and then decided the voiceover, wrote down the voiceover, what should be there, and then we actually recorded the voiceover. So I usually record with my DJI mic. And then you also do the culling for the voiceover in the exact same method as how we did culling for these entire clips. And once we had them, and of course you make sure that you are doing the culling in a separate timeline, and then you can do these stacked timelines, and then you can just copy and paste where the voiceovers should be. So yeah, that's how far we are until now. Next, what are we going to be doing is we're going to be adding some music. So first, let's get rid of this timeline. So I will just go press here cross. That gets rid of the timeline, and then I will also make this a little bit bigger. So what I did in this process was that I did the color grading earlier, but I'll show you later how to color grade, don't worry. So now let's talk about how to put music. So I've also given you some music tracks. So music tracks, I usually get it from artlist.io or Motion Array, and I have a subscription on those websites, and because of that subscription I can put these videos on YouTube without getting a copyright strike. You're free to use that music, but you cannot put it on YouTube without getting a copyright strike because you might not have the membership from Artlist and Motion Array, but feel free to use this music or any other music. So what do we need to do? We need to put music tracks right now. So let's see if this music track, not this one, this is for the intro. So you see here in the audio track, first audio was for the audio from the camera originals. Second audio track is for the voiceover. So if you want, you can also change it. I would do Sony and I would do voiceover, and then if I just copy this music track here, you can do music. If I just zoom in, then you can already see the difference in the waveforms.
You've probably seen this place before. It's Bled in Slovenia.
And I can also see that the music is going higher, but I want the music on the same level from the beginning. So what I would be doing is just option here, option click here, and then I would bring this a little bit higher so that my music track is has the same volume. And with the voiceovers, you also need to make sure that the voiceover has kind of similar level of volume as compared to the entire video. This is a mistake I see on a lot of YouTube videos, and even big creators, they do it, is that the audio from the camera originals are of completely different value, and the audio from the voiceover is completely different. And sometimes the whole time I'm kind of changing the volume of the entire video while watching on my television or on my telephone. And same with the music. Sometimes the music is either super loud or super low. So you have to kind of listen in again and again just to make sure that you yourself are not changing the volume in the video when you're editing. So you have to really make sure that they are all on the same level.
You've probably seen this place before. It's Bled in Slovenia.
So here I can also see that this is going a bit higher, the track, so I would just reduce the volume because my main priority is that my audience should listen to what am I saying in the voiceover.
It looks almost too perfect to be real. A calm lake, mountains all around, and that little island with a church right in the middle. We wanted to see it with our own eyes for ages, and well, we are finally here.
So just when I say we are finally here, I want this clip to be here. So I'll just copy, paste, sort of drag it here.
But
finally here.
But there's one thing about Bled when editing.
And just when she starts saying something, I would just kind of cut it here a little bit further. I'll click it and delete it, X, and then I would just drag it like this. So the music kind of slowly fades out. You see? And now if you listen again, you would see the change.
For ages, and well, we are finally here.
But there's one thing about Bled. When I did my research, I read so many comments.
You can see that the music slowly just fades out. And now we can also see here is that there is a little bit of gap. So how do you reduce the gap? You just click in between the gap, press X, and both the clips are coming together now because we have the link still clicked on. If we had the link out, then if I do like this, then just my top part would be coming together because the audio and the video are not linked to each other. So then we have to do for audio video separately, but if you have the link on, you can do them together.
Well, we are finally here.
But there's one thing about Bled.
So we put the music here. Later we would also put some B-rolls, or if you want, you can put the B-rolls yourself. What do you need to do? Go to stock footage, and now because we have already made the structure of this video, you can choose the whatever clips which is nice or whatever part you think is nice. you can press in and out point and just drag them like so. Here I have already done it, in and out point, drag them like so, but it should also kind of be synced to the whatever I'm saying in the voiceover. And remember, I chose these clips because they were really nice to be in the intro. How do you bring them in the front? One way is you just go Command C, Control C, copy, and then you go here and then Command V or Control V and then just paste here. Of course, there's overrides on this clip, but
You've probably seen this place.
And then you can kind of do all the cuts how you want. You can just also drag the clips.
You've probably seen this place before. It's Bled in Slovenia. It looks almost...
It already really looks nice, but this putting the clips together is really subjective. So you can do however you want. But here now we are kind of focused on the music track. So let's see that we also need some music here.
Our day started at the campsite about 6 kilometers away from the Lake Bled.
So I can feel that we need some music here. So I'll just check the music. So I'll probably put this music, but this also, you feel free to start with the beginning of the original music, or you can also kind of go here and maybe start from here. So it's really up to you. What I usually do, I just copy the music. And whenever I'm copying something, you have to make sure that there's nothing extra on this timeline, because if I copy by mistake on here, then you can see that it kind of overlaps the voiceover files. So this you have to be really careful. Let's check how our music looks.
Bicycle path. Our day started at the campsite about 6.
So of course the music is a bit loud, but I also want the audio to come a little bit later and the music a little bit lower.
Bicycle path.
So here
our day started at the campsite about 6.
So when I say our day started at the campsite, I want to show the campsite, but we don't have the video of campsite. We didn't have in Sony, but where we had it was, I think here, really, oh yeah, you see with one click here. So I want to show this campsite. So what I need to do, I need to copy this there in the beginning, but I just need to copy the video, not the audio. So you see, if I select this, both of these things are selected. I would just unlink it, and then I would just copy the video, Command C. And then we go here I'm saying, right? Then Control V or Control C. So you can see that this kind of overlaps on the other clips. There is another way to copy or duplicate the video file. What do you need to do? You go here, where was it? This clip, because it's too long. What do you need to do? You go Option, keep pressing Option or Alt, click on this clip and then kind of bring it. So you can see that the clip remains there, but the duplicate file, I have it on with my mouse. So I'll just bring it on top of this, on top of these clips.
Path. Our day started at...
So I just want it to end here. You can also change the height of the video here.
Bicycle path.
And then I can drag this, both of these clips this way. So how do you select? Because now if I select the video, both are not selected. So you have two ways. You can select this and also the audio, but this time you should press Command. So then both of these clips are selected. And if I want to just move everything.
Our day started at the campsite about...
So I just want to... So you can just keep dragging the clips, you know, like just here to kind of change the cut or wherever you want the cut. That's really convenient in DaVinci.
Started at the campsite about 6 kilometers away from the Lake Bled.
So I just... So I'm not really biggest fan of this clip, so I'll just delete it by X. And then if I want everything to go a bit more this way to the left, I just click in between X, here, X. So everything goes this way.
It's a really cool bicycle path.
So I would just move this a little bit this way, and then I would just drag like so.
It's a really cool bicycle path, this going to Bled.
So you can see that this is a little bit abrupt, the audio from this and this.
It's a really cool
So what we need to do, you need to go and click in between these two clips and add a kind of crossfade. So now what happens is audio from this clip goes a little bit lower and audio from this clip goes a little bit higher.
It's a really cool bicycle path.
So you can see that these things you can do with, you know, kind of by adding music and also kind of doing a smooth transition between one audio to another. And I can see there is a gap. What you can also do is if you want the entire timeline to be moving to the left, or if you want to just select the entire timeline onto the left or the right, you need to go Alt Y. So if you go Alt or Option Y, it selects everything on the right. If I go Command or Control Y, it selects everything on the left. So say for example, if I wanted to select everything on the right, what do I need to do? Option Y or Alt Y, and then I would just move it like this. So then I really make sure that everything from the timeline has moved. And that is how I add music. So I'll show you the final product after adding music and adding the B-rolls in the intro. So this is how the video looks. So you can see that I have done a lot of changes in the volume. So this was just by listening over and over again. You can also see there's a smooth fade out when my subject is talking. You can see that the camping shot is here. Then we have the bicycle. They are kind of cut on the beat. And you can also see there's a B-roll music. So this is how it looks after adding the music. So let's just hear the intro, maybe for 60 seconds, and I'll show you how it sounds and looks.
You have probably seen this place before. It's Bled in Slovenia.
I'll just do full screen.
Almost too perfect to be real. A calm lake, mountains all around, and that little island with a church right in the middle. We wanted to see it with our own eyes for ages, and well, we're finally here.
But there's one thing about Bled. When I did my research, I read so many comments of people saying, don't go, it's too touristy, really don't go, don't waste your time in Bled. And I was like, huh? How can we visit Slovenia without visiting Bled? But today we're going to test it out. We're going to explore all around Bled, show you the hopefully hidden gems.
So here I've put a kind of clip from later part of the video just to hype up the video a bit more, and I've just put it on top of the talking head shot.
And yeah, you can judge, is it worth it to go or not?
And obviously we are on our bicycles and bicycle path.
Our day started at the campsite about 6 kilometers away from the Lake Bled.
So here you see
on the bicycle path.
I think the audio from the voiceover is a little bit loud, so I'll just go a little bit down.
Our day started at the campsite about 6 kilometers away from the Lake Bled.
Bicycle path, this going to Bled.
So yeah, this is how it looks after adding music, and I didn't do anything special. You can see that here also I've cut on the beat. And one thing also really important, a lot of times I see people that they kind of eliminate the audio from the camera originals and they just put the music. In my opinion, it takes away the real feel from the video. So that's why it's really important, at least in my opinion, that you should keep the music from the camera originals, but just lower them so that they are kind of playing in the background. So the audience, they have a little bit of feel that how it felt to be there.
We just enjoyed the most delicious bakery stuffed croissants.
And then we have a voiceover and the audio here.
Our first look at the lake honestly took our breath away. We were a bit worried it would be too crowded, and yeah, some spots were pretty busy. but the path and the walkways are so spread out that you can still find those quiet corners and perfect photo spots.
So you see, I have reduced the volume of the camera original clip because there was a lot of kind of noise from our shoes rubbing the floor, and that would have, I'll just let it go.
Quiet corners and perfect photo spots.
You see, it's a little bit annoying, so I reduced it and later it came back. And as the volume from our talking is coming back, I'm kind of reducing the music. So these things, editors, they do so quietly that the viewers, they don't even realize that this is happening. So this is the art what you have to learn, and it just comes with practice and just listening and listening again and again.
So I see moments with this.
We decided to hike up to Mala.
So here I didn't do any music, because also the thing is that sometimes if you just put too much music everywhere, it kind of takes the real feel from the video. Like, I like my videos to look beautiful, but I also want my audience to feel like they were also there, you know. So sometimes it's also just nice to just let the video play without any music and just the ambient noise from the actual scenario.
Nitsa viewpoint. It's about 685 meters high and totally worth the climb.
Oh, it's really fine.
But if you think that everything is going too fast, you should really check out my DaVinci Resolve masterclass, because there I have explained every step, everything in detail. And this is for intermediate people who have watched that class or who have a bit of knowledge of DaVinci and who want to have a good workflow of editing YouTube videos. So anyways, this is how it looks after adding music. And in the next chapter, we're gonna be doing my favorite part, color grading. So let's go. So once we added the music, now it's time to color grade. So what I usually did in real life was I did the color grading first, because I wanted to show the text, the voiceover text, to my wife, and she was taking so much time. So I thought, let's do color grading first. So that's why it's here in number 2. So you can also do it this way, or you can also do color grading after adding music. But let's go in the color grading timeline. Let's start the color grading. So I'll just select this clip, go to color grading here. So let's maybe select this clip. So what I do with color grading an entire project is that I choose a neutral clip, you know, which has a good brightness, because I feel like there's so much darkness here, like shadows from the clouds, and I think this clip is nice and bright, quite neutral in terms of exposure. So first step is to choose a normal clip, you know, which has really decent exposure. And then you kind of make a general color grade according to that node, and then you paste that setting to the entire project, or at least all the clips from Sony, and then you color grade, you know, change the exposure, change the white balance of each clip. It might take a bit of time, but with time it gets easier. Here, just for this project, I have to do first color conversion, because we have filmed on Sony S-Log3. If you have a normal video, like where do we have the iPhone videos, then you don't need to color grade, because they're already on a nice colors, nice picture profile. But here we just have to do for Sony. So let's check this clip, and here we're gonna be color grading on that. So we put 2 nodes in the beginning. Yep. And what are we going to do? We go to effects, and then we go to color space transformation. So I'll just try transformation, and then we do color space transformation on both the nodes. So if I just select this node, and this is where it's really important that your color settings in DaVinci Resolve is this. And for Windows users, it should be here, Rec 709 Gamma 2.4. Then this would work. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. So I go here, click on the first node. Here what we are basically doing is we are bringing the Sony clip, which is filmed in S-Log3, which is kind of like raw colors. We are bringing them into the normal picture profile, like how the iPhone videos are looking. So we go to effects. First thing is we go Sony S Gamut 3 Cine, and here we do Sony S-Log3 because it was shot on S-Log3. Here we do DaVinci Wide Gamut, and here we do DaVinci Intermediate. So just copy these settings. If you want to know why we're doing it, I've explained it in my DaVinci Resolve class, so don't worry about that. So I go here, and here the input color space would be DaVinci Wide Gamut. Here would be DaVinci Intermediate, and here would be Rex 709, and here would be Rex 709, sorry, Gamma 2.4. So you see now that if I disable, just go full screen, if I enable or disable the clip, you can see this was it before, this is after. So you see how nice colors we have it now, right? So let's keep it here. So this is what we have to do in all the Sony images. So we're gonna be making more nodes. How do you make nodes? There's Option S or Alt S, and this node would be maybe for white balance. So I can just bring this up here. This node would be for white balance. This node would be for exposure, which would be, so white balance and exposure would be very different for every image. We are not gonna be changing any of that now. This can be for colors, and this can be for extra. What we can also do is exposure. We can make another node called highlight. Yeah. So white balance we're not going to change. Exposure we're not going to change. Colors, maybe we can change the colors to node label saturation, and then extra, and then here maybe we can do a lot. So what do we need to do? We need to maybe put a lot on top. So I've also given you all these LUTs, so don't worry. This film standard LUTs. So what I usually do, I choose the LUT 10, and then I can see that it's a bit too much in my opinion because I want this video to look a little bit neutral. So what would I do is I would just reduce the intensity of the LUT. So I would go here and key output to, let's say, 4, and now if I have full screen, before and after. There's a bit of change. I still have to do a lot of things with exposure, but I'm not going to do that now. I'll just get rid of the clip. So we have a full image here, and this is our master frame, let's say. And so we're going to be changing the saturation. How do you change the saturation? Not from here, color boost, or not from here. There's a really professional way. So we go to color space, you go to HSV, then go to color space again, go to channel, select channel 1, unselect channel 1 and 3. What did we do here? Went to color space, selected HSV, then channel, unchecked 1 and 3. And now what to do? You go to gain and increase the gain. You see, if I increase the gain all the way, the color changes, but I'm not going to go that crazy. I would maybe until here. So then you can see that there's a bit of colors in the image, which looks really pretty. So already if we go before and after, you can see how much changes we did. If we go selected everything before and after, you can see how nice it looks. We're gonna unselect it. Highlights, we don't really need it, but what we would be doing is you go to here, selecting highlights, you go to luminance, you go like so. So what's gonna happen is anything which is brighter than this would be selected. And if it's selected, then you kind of reduce the highlight of that area. It would all make sense if when we move to a different clip. So you just do that, just copy everything and you should be fine. So now we have like a basic color of the entire project. We didn't change anything with white balance, nothing with exposure, nothing with extra. What we did was the color conversion, which is this, and then we did the LUT. We increased the saturation and we did the highlights. And this would be applicable to entire videos, all the videos from Sony. So what are we gonna do? We go right click, you go grab still. Then we go to galleries, and this is my still here, what we did. And now what we need to do, you go to clips, and you need to make sure that this is on all the Sony images. So my Sony images, they go, I'm just scrolling the mouse. So my Sony images, they come until here. So I go shift and click until here. Then it's on all the Sony images. you might have also some of the stock videos in between. So what you need to do to unselect that, for example, if this was a stock video, you command and click here, command and click here. So just those clips would be unselected. We just have Sony videos. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna be putting this entire color grade on all the Sony clips. And that's why it's also really important to color the clips as well, because then you know which is from what. I go right click, I go apply grade. And now all my clips are color graded. But here I can already see that the sky is a little bit too much bright. So I can do the highlights here. You go to highlight, you can maybe move this around. You can see that now it's just selecting the sky. And then if I have to reduce the highlight, you see I can, because we already reduced the highlights here. But here we're going to be changing the exposure. So I can see that these parades are up here. They have more room to be going up. Can push them up, not so much. Then bring the lift down. Get a bit of contrast in the image and then increase the shadows. So this is how my image looked before exposure, after exposure. And if I just want to copy this to the next clip, because that is the same clip, you just go Command C or Control C, just copy here, Command V or Control V. And we also made changes in highlight. You go Command C and Command V. This image looks nice, but I feel like it needs a bit more contrast, like a bit more pop. So I'll reduce down the blacks, and it looks pretty impressive. Also reduce down the gamma. So here the exposure change, what we're doing is in primary color wheels. So these, like the only thing what you need to do is the exposure change now, or white balance in some places. So I go here, increase the gain. And if you want to increase the contrast, you just need to increase the gain a little bit, reduce the lift. So the brighter areas become brighter, the darker areas become dark. All these images are the same, I think. Let me show you here. So you can see that if I increase the brightness, like everything looks fine, but I feel that it's a little bit too yellowish. So I can reduce the white balance, change the white balance actually. So you can go to temperature, and because it's too yellowish, you have to move a bit more towards the blue. So move a bit more towards the blue, and now if you go before and after, this was before, you can see how yellow it looks, this after. And what you can also do is that if you just want a little preset from this part, you just go grab still, and because we have 3 clips from the cafe, you can select this and go press shift and click here. All the 3 clips are selected, and then go apply grade, and that grade would be on all these clips. So that's how you color grade. I like how easy it is, right? That you make one base color for the entire project, and then you kind of do some sort of changes in all the other clips. Let's say here, I think here would be really nice. You can push the highlights a little bit higher. We just need to make sure nothing is going too far up like this, just until here. And bring the lift down. I can already see that if we did a bit more saturation, it would also look nice. I went to saturation. But if you really want an in-depth look, you see how it is before and after of color grading. But if you really want an in-depth color grading guide, then really check out my DaVinci Resolve masterclass. I've explained everything in detail. And now let's color grade some iPhone videos. So let's go on this video, yeah? So if we go with our, the clip what we color graded for Sony, if you just apply grade, it looks like this. The only problem is why it is looking like this is because we did the color conversion from Sony, also on iPhone video, which is not a good thing. So we're gonna be just resetting these nodes, reset this node and reset this node. So now the same kind of color grade what we have on Sony is on the iPhone clip, except for the color conversion. So if I just select everything and let's go full screen. Oh, let's go full screen before and after. I also feel that maybe the saturation is a bit too much. So let's go like so, and then you can make a separate LUT for the iPhone video. So you go grab still, and then we can see that the iPhone video from here to here, we can select everything and then apply grade. So it is that easy. But you still have to go on every clip just to make sure that the exposure and everything is good. Like it is. That's why I also like sometimes just filming with iPhone videos, is because the colors are just so nice. You can also see that the highlights, what we did, we made sure that if anything is clipping above a certain level, then the highlights would reduce the brightness. You can see here, if you check out the clouds, there's a bit of detail coming back. I can also bring it a little bit back. So you can see again, just check out the cloud. This was before, this after. If we see the entire clip, let's go full screen. This was before and after. I still think that there might be a room to, increase the contrast. I'll increase the contrast here, increase the gain, reduce the lift. This I'm a bit exaggerating, increase the sharp saturation. So you see this, I'm a little bit exaggerating, but I like this look. You can see how nice and punchy it is. This was before, just a normal flat iPhone image. Just with few clicks, we didn't do anything crazy. Like really just with few clicks, we have achieved a good look, a decent look, at least for YouTube videos, and how quickly it was, how easy it was. So that's really good. And if we also had a stock footage, I think we have it here as well. You can see that we did the exact same thing on the stock footage as well. If I just go reset all the node, I just copy the iPhone because they're in the same picture profile. You can see how nice it looks. So yeah, that's how I color grade in DaVinci Resolve when I am editing YouTube videos. But with color grading, it's just such a massive thing in DaVinci Resolve, is that there are so many ways to color grade. There are so many ways to get that cinematic look. I have taught everything in crazy detail in my other DaVinci Resolve classes. So if you're really interested in color grading or becoming a good colorist, go check out those classes. This is for anyone who just want a quick, nice look for their YouTube videos. And I hope it makes sense. If something doesn't make sense, please let me know in the comments, or just email me with the screenshot of any project you are working. So what did we do until now? So we took care of all the color grading, we did the music, we did the voiceovers, and yeah, we also put some B-rolls on the top when I'm talking about something. And yeah, this is how it looks. But now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing some final adjustments, such as noise reduction, stabilization, maybe cutting and trimming some clips, because if I watch it now, everything looks perfect. If I watch it tomorrow, then I would see a lot of errors. So that's why it's also really important that you shouldn't rush into uploading really quickly. Just watch it the next day and the next day, and then you would find those small errors which you didn't see on your first day. So that is really important. So let's go. So now we are done with color grading. I kind of color graded the entire video project using the exact same method what I showed you in the color grading section. And this is how my timeline looks like now. So of course, in the first line of the video, there's all the videos, and if I needed some B-rolls, that is on the top of the talking shot. Then here in the audio, I will just change it again, because last time I changed it, that was in a different timeline. So here is, I would just do Sony, here is the voiceover, and here is music. And I'll just make sure that they're all here together. So now what are we gonna do? We're gonna be just reviewing the entire video. And if I need to make any changes, or if I feel that sometimes if the sound is a bit weird, or any sort of final changes, I would be doing now. And it's really important to do that when you're editing YouTube videos. Like sometimes I find mistakes in the editing in like one of the biggest YouTubers in their video. Like that would be for a split of a second, but it's there. So that is just so unprofessional. So let's just watch the video and then we can judge how it's going.
You've probably seen this place before. It's Bled in Slovenia. It looks almost too perfect to be real. A calm lake, mountains all around.
So I can already see that there is a little black bar on top of it, bottom and top and bottom. So because this is a stock footage, it was not in the same resolution as my timeline. So I'll just zoom in a little bit. And I also see that it can be nice to have a bit of kind of zoom in all the shots, in the intro especially. So what I would be doing is I would just set up some keyframe. So here I would do set up a keyframe here, which is the zoom level, this one. And then at the end of the clip, I would zoom in a little bit more. So then the video looks like this. So now you can see there's a slight zoom in.
Probably seen this place before.
In this clip as well. So I would do just a keyframe here in the beginning when I go to the end. So here you have a preview for the next clip, but I can see here the brown clip is selected, which means that we are doing the keyframe changes in that clip. So don't get confused.
Before. It's Bled in Slovenia.
You see how nice it looks now. So if I have to copy the same setting from this clip to this clip, what I would be doing is I would just go Command C or Control C, and then I would do Option. I'm not going to do Command V, Control V. I would do Option V or Alt V. And then what do I need to copy? What settings I need to copy is just the zoom settings. So I would go Apply. And now what's going to happen is the zoom would be from here, from this second to this second on this clip, you know. So because I can already see this clip is a little bit longer, so you can see that the zoom would stop at a point.
It looks almost too perfect to be real.
So you see it's zooming in, but it stops at a point. So we have to make sure that the zoom is from the front to the end.
Too perfect to be real.
You can see it stops there. So if we go to the keyframe, you see here it says show keyframe tray. The keyframe tray opens and you can see there's a keyframe here. There's a zoom keyframe just until here. So I know we are moving a little bit quickly, but if you're a little bit confused, just watch this chapter again and again, because these are some of the final changes I do. So you see, I just drag the keyframe from here to here.
It looks almost too perfect to be real. A calm lake.
So here we don't need, because there's already so much movement.
Lake, mountains all around, and that little island with a church.
Here also there's so much
right in the middle. We wanted to see it with our own eyes.
Here can be nice because there's not much movement. So I'll just do Command C and Alt or Option V. So I think here this clip is also a little bit longer than this clip.
To see it with our own eyes for ages. And well, we are finally here.
You see the zoom stops. And I also want to make sure that this castle is in the kind of center, because I feel that if I zoom in, it kind of goes away to the corner. You can see it goes away to the corner. So I would go here and try to bring it as much as in the center as possible. And then I'll open the keyframe, because I think the zoom, that still needs to go here. So if I just watch full screen.
We wanted to see it with our own eyes for ages. And well, we are finally here.
But there's one thing about Bled. When I did my research, I read so many comments of people saying, don't go, it's too
I think it's a bit low, the audio.
touristy, really don't go, don't waste your time in Bled. And I was like, huh?
And what I also hear is that there's a bit of a background noise, which is a little bit annoying. So if you have DaVinci Studio version, you can use the AI voice isolation, which is just really crazy thing in DaVinci. Let's just hear again.
When I did my research, I read so many comments of people saying,
you see there's this, I think, I don't know, there's some machine working or something in the background. So I would select the audio panel of this clip. I would go AI voice isolation, and I would set up the amount to 11 or 12.
When I did my research, I read so
It's already
many comments of
so much better. So I would just copy this whole setting and select these two clips, Option V or Alt V. Then what do I need to paste? I don't want to paste the volume because I think the volume is a bit leveled. I just want to paste the plugins. We didn't do anything changes in equalizer, so if I paste the plugins, it's just going to copy the voice isolation.
Explore all around Bled, show you the hopefully hidden gems, and yeah, you can judge, is it worth it to go or not?
And just when you put the voice isolation, the computer lags a little bit, but that's not a problem. And obviously we are on our bicycles, and you can also cycle around the entire lake. You see how clear the audio is now. So really curious about that. That would it be more bicycles or would it be more tourists on the bicycle path?
Our day started at the campsite about 6.
I think it's a little bit loud. Bicycle path.
Our day started at the campsite about 6 kilometers away from the Lake Bled.
So I think the music is as well also a bit loud. Or maybe I have made the video part all loud. The entire lake. So really curious about that. That would it be more bicycles or would it be more tourists on the bicycle path?
Our day started at...
Maybe I'll increase the music like this, and then when I start talking, then I would reduce it. Just until here. So I have placed 4 dots, and the line between the 2 dots, this I'm reducing.
Our day started at the campsite about 6 kilometers away from the...
And this audio, it's kind of a bit abrupt, so I will just press this fade in effect here.
Campsite about 6 kilometers away.
So I'm not doing anything new. I'm only doing a kind of refining the audio and some of the videos.
From the Lake Bled.
It's a really cool bicycle path this going to Bled. We're staying a bit outside.
So we're going to be doing the same audio AI voice isolation here in both the clips, because I see that we were next to this waterfall. So I'll just go Command C from here and then Alt V or Option V, and then I'll just copy the plugin.
Side of the Bled area bicycle path this going.
You see this was before.
Going to Bled. We're staying a bit outside of the Bled area.
I'm not sure if you can hear the sound in the background, but I do.
Like a little bit, I mean like 6Ks. On a campsite, we will put down below where we are staying, and I can already say we really recommend staying a little bit there, because then you can enjoy this beautiful nature around. And yeah, starting with this river.
I don't know, like there are 2 clips which are kind of showing the same thing. So I would rather put this clip because that kind of shows a bit of a village vibe.
The campsite about 6 kilometers away from the Lake Bled.
And then what I would also do is I'll just copy this, move this one here.
The Lake Bled. The Lake Bled.
And this clip also needs a bit of stabilization. I can see that I did a stabilization, but I will show you again. So this is without the stabilization.
About 6 kilometers away.
It's a little bit shaky. How do you do stabilization? I'll just reset it. You select the clip, go to stabilization and stabilize.
About 6 kilometers away from the Lake Bled.
And then I would just bring the talking part here, and then I'll reduce the audio here.
It's a really cool bicycle path this going to Bled. We're staying a bit.
And I also think that the music here is not needed. I want people to focus on what the subject is talking, so I'll just delete the music.
A bit outside of this beautiful nature around. And yeah, starting with this river.
And I would just go Option Y or Alt Y, so which means the whole thing is selected, and then I'll just move it to the right. And here what I can do is that I can just bring the audio a little bit lower, and I would sort of, what I would do, I would just fade in the audio like this, because this is completely different. In this scene there's no water, in this scene there's water, in this scene there's no water. So I want the audio of the waterfall or the river to come not so abrupt.
With this river. Our bicycle trip turned out to be a bit more adventurous than we thought. So let's find an alternative.
Remember I was saying before that you don't need music all the time, and that's what I meant, that a lot of times when I started editing videos or making YouTube videos, I would believe that if I don't put music under everything, the video would look a bit boring. But a lot of times we actually have people commenting on our videos that I really like the entire vibe of the video. I really like the background noise and the sounds, what you show in the video. It felt like I was there. So yeah, that made me realize that sometimes it's just also nice to just put a clip which is nice and peaceful, and that is kind of giving the entire feel of the ambient of that place. So yeah.
Alternative.
So I think here also I have used stabilization. If I go without stabilization, stabilize. How's the bicycle ride going, Mira?
So we went a bit off.
So here when I'm saying when I'm saying how was the bicycle ride going, Mira, then people don't really hear it. So I want to put a subtitle here. Yeah, that's something new. So how do you put a subtitle? Like I have whatever thing I'm doing right now, it might be a bit too quick, but if you really want to learn about in-depth about DaVinci Resolve, really check out my DaVinci Resolve class. But if you just want to learn enough to edit a YouTube videos, you're doing it right now, so don't worry. So if we go to titles and then we go here, so there is subtitle somewhere. Yeah, subtitle. So I'll just put it here. No, here. How's the bicycle ride going, Mira?
So we went.
So I don't think people can hear when I say how's the bicycle ride going. So I will just type it. VLE. And I also have a preset for this. So how can you make a preset? So you go here to track and you can choose any font you want. You can choose any size, spacing, you can choose any color you want. You can do drop shadow if you want drop shadow or not drop shadow. You can choose any background you want. And then, for example, if I wanted this, to be my subtitle font, and if I wanted it to be here, and I would be using that in all my YouTube videos, then I would make a preset of that so that I don't have to do all these settings over and over again. So to make a preset for subtitles, what do you need to do? You go to the three dots here in the corner, and then you do save track as a preset. And here you can make your own subtitles. I have YouTube here. So load preset, and this is a subtitle, what we use in all the videos. So we have Masculina regular, and in the font case, I do all caps. So even if I have, here mixed caps, here it would be all caps. And the font and the shadow and everything, that's our choice. So you can choose anything you want. How's the bicycle ride going, Mira?
So we went a bit off track because we have to go to Bled the village. Sweating.
Keeps going up and up and up.
Yeah, and it's just really quick.
And I also hear a lot of ambient noise in the background, so I will just do AI voice isolation. And the reason why I don't go 100 is because I still want people to hear a little bit of background noise. And DaVinci also makes it a bit robotic.
Tough, really tough. It's just like you think, oh, you just have to get there, just go.
It's not sounding that robotic now, but sometimes it does. But now all the ambient...
But your heartbeat goes...
And it starts
going
up and up and up.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of keep it a little bit, maximum I do 20.
And it's just really quickly, your energy getting cappuccino this morning now.
So I want to copy this setting on everything. So I'll just Command C and Control V on all the three clips. So Option V or Alt V, and we are just doing the plugin.
So more cakes to... We will see also the lake without the clouds. But because I think that mountain is really impressive.
Let's do a little stabilization here.
Just a little bit clouds. I hope you will see also the lake without the clouds.
Sometimes what happens is that when you watch it for the first time, everything is new for me as well. So then I kind of keep it for a bit longer, and then I watch the video again and again. Then I feel like, no, it's a bit boring. So then I kind of make it short, and that keeps the video a bit interesting as well, because we have showed a lot of cycling clips already, so there's nothing new. This is just showing, giving the audience information that we are going from A to B, and two short clips is enough. Now is the time to give more new information, like the cafe here. And what I can do here, ripple delete. So just click in the gap, press X, click in the gap, press X. But what happens is that sometimes it wouldn't move everything. Like now it did everything, you know, but sometimes it wouldn't move this audio track or this audio track. DaVinci doesn't do it. So what I do is that I would just go to the clip here, you know, the first clip from the right. And then as I showed you before, I would go Option Y or Alt Y. So here we have reached to the viewpoint, and I told the name of the viewpoint in the video, in the voiceover, but I don't think it's that clear because it's a Slovenian name and their names are a bit difficult. So I would also put the name of the viewpoint here. So I'll just go, I went to text and I copied this basic title. So here I would go to text here, basic title, then title here, I would just copy the name of the place. So yeah, that is the name of the viewpoint. And what I want is, I want the same font, which is Masculina. And I just reduce the size. And usually we put it, if you want, you can put it here, or we put it here in most of our YouTube videos. And unfortunately for these text, you cannot really make a preset. That's a bit of bummer. And for drop shadow, what we do is that I just drop it. So I'm just gonna zoom it here at this point, yeah? So I'm just scrolling the mouse by pointing here, and I'll just get rid of the effect. And here, now if I wanna move the whole screen up, then I go Command and then scroll the mouse up. So then I have a clear view of what's happening. Here I would reduce the blur. I would just bring it down a little bit and offset. So you can see what am I doing here, right? I'm kind of bringing the offset of the shadow, and usually what I do is that I change the color of the drop shadow to orange. If you want to choose some other color, you can go here, 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 or here, here, whatever color you want to choose. And now if I put it orange, I can see that it's too far away. Yeah, and now if I want to go to normal screen, just go on the screen here and press Z. I'll come back with effect and let's play it again. So now we are at a point where I'm talking about the camping where we stayed. So if I want to have the same font and everything, same placement, then I can just copy the same text box to this place. I want the text box to be here because here I'm saying.
But before we go, let me show you where we stayed. It's called 3 Rivers Camp.
So when I say 3 Rivers Camp and Glamping, then the text should come. So I would just click on this text because I know that's the text box. Then I would press Option or Alt, and then I would drag it. So that would create a duplicate text here. So you see, but that's not Mala or Sonita, there's 3 rivers. So I'm just gonna do it here so you can see.
It's called 3 Rivers.
So because the length of the text is a little bit different, it moved a little bit to the right, so I will just move it to the left. Yeah.
Camp and glamping in Resolve20. It's such a cozy little of the trip.
We are here in the most famous ice cream shop in this little town. So you see, I'm not putting any music here because I really feel that if someone has watched the video until now, like they really enjoy the vibe of the video and they really enjoy our journey and they feel like they're traveling with us. So I want to keep that authenticity still now. So yeah.
Grandmother's recipe.
Just do the voice isolation here, and we are almost towards the end of the video.
It's so good.
Hope you enjoyed coming along, and we'll see you in the next one.
And wherever you want to end, you can just press O. So you see my video reduced from 11:44 to 11:36. So the more time I watch, the shorter my video becomes. And that's a good thing because then I kind of take out all the parts which were not necessary. So right now we are done with the final checks. In the next section, I'm going to be showing you how to export a YouTube video to have the best video quality. So let's go. So here we're going to be moving to the export page. But before that, we need to make sure that this whole timeline is selected. So if you haven't selected it, I would press I. So that makes this in point on the timeline. And then I would go to the end. And you know how I'm zooming in, zooming out, right? With A and S. And if I go to the end, then I need to press O. For example, if I press O here, the video would be exported and there would be a black screen here. So I need to make sure that I'm here ending the video here. This you really need to make sure that there's not any gap and there's not any gap in between, or there are not any gaps in between the clips. So right now we have the in and out point selected in the edit page. Now we're going to be moving on to the export page. So this is the export page, and for some reason when I go to the export page, my DaVinci takes a bit of time to load. You see it's still loading. Maybe because my MacBook Pro is a bit old. It is 5 years old, but it still works pretty good. DaVinci works pretty good. So yeah, I just had to wait for 15 seconds. So you can see again, just check again. Here also you can do in and out points. And here you can see it says render in and out range. Or you can do entire timeline, but here we're going to be doing in and out range. Yep. So let's show you what does all these things mean. So these are different video formats in which you can export a video. They also have a preset for YouTube video, but I don't really do it because I want to make sure that I choose the setting to be exported. So let me choose that. So here we're going to be naming the video. I will just do bled 4K so that I am sure that the video is 4K and I am telling myself that this is the final render 4K. Bled is the name of the place. And then location, you can just put anywhere you want. What I would do, I go exports, then I go make a folder called bled, and then bled 4K should be saved here. So I'll just save here. Render, you just do single clip. Render as you want the entire video to be a single clip. And then render video, you go check to the audio, and then you should check that export audio is checked, and then you go to the video again. Then export video QuickTime. Because I'm using Apple, I'm do QuickTime. You can choose MP4 if you want. I choose QuickTime. And codec. What happens now is that H.264 is a codec that gives a little bit bigger video size. If you choose the codec Apple ProRes, that gives the biggest video size and the best of the best quality. H.264 gives a moderate video size and a decent quality. And H.265 that gives the smallest video size and the quality is still decent, but it's good enough. And the thing is that if you export these videos on YouTube, they compress it anyways. So that's why a lot of videographers or filmmakers, they upload their work on Vimeo because Vimeo never compresses anything. But YouTube does it anyways. So that's why I export the video in H.265 so that the exported video what I have is of smallest file size, but still the quality is really good. If I export the video in Apple ProRes with the biggest file size and 4K and upload the video on YouTube, and same with H.265, if I upload both the videos on YouTube, nobody can tell any difference. So that's why I personally export the video in H.265. And then timeline resolution. Remember we chose the resolution of the video of the timeline as 1920 by 1080. If you want to export in high definition, which is this resolution, you can, but I would export it in 4K, which is Ultra HD. And if you have the paid DaVinci Resolve version, then you can export in 8K, which is not really needed. So I just go in Ultra HD, which is 4K, and frame rate, you can do timeline frame rate or you can choose some other frame rate, but I would just do timeline frame rate because we have already chosen the frame rate according to how we want it. And then quality, what I do is I restrict the quality to 50,000, because sometimes if I do automatic, there is some sort of glitches in my videos. It's really random, but if I do restrict to 50,000, there's no problem in the video. Rest, I don't change anything. If you don't have any of these settings selected, do it right now. And then in advanced setting, I don't do anything. Color space tag, same as project. I don't change anything, so really don't worry about that. So I'll just close the advanced video setting. What I do change now is subtitle setting. So we go export subtitle. If you don't do export subtitle, remember we made a subtitle here where I said something and it was not really audible in the camera. So that's what we want it to be pasted on the video. So when we click export subtitle, here it has an option which says as a separate file. We don't want to do that. We want to burn it in the video, which means that the subtitle would appear as how it is now. And then add to render queue. And at high resolution, I just click OK. It's just showing that the timeline resolution was smaller. You're exporting in 4K, blah, blah. Then you go add. And then you do render all. And then depending on the capacity of your computer, it's going to render, and then we'll see how long it takes. So now it says, yeah, 4 to 5 minutes, because we didn't do anything crazy in this video. So yeah, the video is rendering, and we are almost coming to the end of the class. And if you have any questions, please let me know in the description. If you want, you can also book a one-on-one session with me if you have a specific problem or if you have specific questions about YouTube, because yes, I am a full-time YouTuber as well, and I'm also a full-time videographer. So if you have questions about anything related to either it's the business side of the things or either is it the skill side of the thing, you can book a one-on-one session with me. Or if you have any questions, any doubts, just email me and I would be really happy to help you out. And do not forget to check out the project section. I would really want to watch at least 1 to 2 minute video of either this vlog or any other vlog. It can be really cool to see your personal vlog videos rather than just watching my own vlog again and again. So yeah, if you have any videos or in your collection, please apply the same method. And of course, I said in the beginning it would take you less time, which it would for sure, but you also need a lot of practice. Like I have found this method of editing over the years. I have made it more efficient depending on how much time I had, depending on the types of video I'm editing. So yeah, it takes time, but if you don't practice, your timing would be the same. The more you practice, it's gonna improve a lot. If you have any questions, leave them down in the discussion panel, and I'll see you in the next class.